I often tell students when they come here that if you're going to truly be a student of theology and culture, you have to let the city be your classroom and the world be your teacher. A few weeks ago, some friends of mine from a local church, a woman by the name of Lena Thompson, she led her congregation on a journey to the South to retrace the steps of slavery, of Jim Crow. So as Lena did very creatively with a few other people in her church, she created this amazing exhibit in their church called In Our Shoes. Linda and I went and we were very moved. We spent 3 or 4 hours there. And because we were so moved, I came back, and this wasn't related to any class, this wasn't related to anything other than this would be a great opportunity to get students out of the building and into a conversation with a local community leader that's doing really good work in the name of justice. And it was as overwhelming for the students who went with me as it was for Linda, my wife, and I when we first visited. I told the students, hey, let's figure out a time to debrief this later. We're not going to talk about it 15 minutes after we've seen it because it was way too intense. And so that evening, it was this beautiful day in Seattle, decided, what do we do? Let's go out and have dinner. It was a classic Seattle summer night. It was perfect. We had this great night where we got a good bottle of wine and ate good Italian food and overlooked Puget Sound. So after our dinner, we decided rather than just jump on the train and go home from Pike Place Market, let's walk. We decided we'd walk all the way to Pioneer Square. We turned into Pioneer Square to walk up a couple of streets, and all of a sudden we saw 2 construction worker looking dudes look like they were working on some sort of manhole or something. And then I realized very quickly I'd translated the event all wrong. It was 2 construction workers after they'd worked all day, and they were beating up a body. And it terrified me. We both ran towards what was happening, and we saw these 2 white men beating up this small, frail African-American man. And they were pounding his head into the pavement. I remember Linda pulling out her phone and me telling her, call 911, and I yelled at these 2 men very loudly, and they both jumped up. I think in that moment, they had enough clarity to realize they'd done something really evil and something really wrong, and they ran away. In the middle of that, the police get there. And all of a sudden, the police told us that they didn't need us anymore. I said, wait a second, a person was just beat up here. A person was just assaulted. Don't you want us to file some report? Don't you want us to communicate something about what these guys looked like? I can tell you what their shirts looked like. You could probably find them. They had no interest in the story. To them, it was a black body. It was the body of a homeless man. It was the body of somebody that didn't count for much. It wasn't a case they needed to investigate. It was a problem that needed to be swept up, cleaned up, and forgotten about. That was the system. That was that insidious effort to autocorrect because some people don't matter as much as other people. How does a system continue to go back to stuff like that that's so insidious and appears to be so evil? The system that kept auto-correcting to something that was deeply, deeply incorrect and wrong. Ron Takaki, in his great book, A Different Mirror, says that there is a master narrative that has shaped America, that has made some things true and some things not true. What is your epistemology? How do you know that you know that you know? And I would argue that whiteness and the decentering of that narrative is necessary because the system always autocorrects towards or back to that narrative. We have so institutionalized the way we operate in this world. It takes a radical, and a revolutionary posture to stop that mechanism of autocorrect, always moving back to what is normative, which happens to be white, wealth, power. I don't know what happened in that exhibit, and I don't know what happened on that street, but I know that somehow in this program, we need to continue to ask, how do we create a prophetic witness that stands in defiance of that mechanism to autocorrect back to what's normal?